Well, I was at the scrapyard about a week ago, and I saw this push bar there. And when I got it, it was all beat up, it was all rusty and torn up and bent out and just basically ready for scrap. So the car that I took it off had like a front end collision, so everything was all, destroyed and not really good for anything anymore. So I basically ripped it off there, had to bend out a bunch of stuff to get it out, and made custom mounts and stuff for it. So it's on here now, and my brackets are not finished yet, but they're solid. I made basically brackets that fit in the factory frame holes, and I've got to still clean all this up and stuff, custom form it to really flow with it. But these brackets fit with the factory frame holes, and I've got two pieces of metal that pinch in the mount there. So I got it's mounted underneath, and I've also when you actually use these things, when you push or pull on anything up here, which is where normally, this is the farthest part out, so that's normally where the pressure goes, and this whole area is basically acting like a breaker bar and is putting leverage on here, and that's why these things get all fucked up and they bend and they just don't work out. They ruin a lot of stuff, they push into grills, whatever. So what I've done to kind of help alleviate that and to square it up and make it actually solid is I have added custom made these brackets here that go from the actual frame of the bar back to my frame, so now it's actually mounted solidly, and there's no way it can push, pull, twist, whatever. It would take a major front end collision of some sort in order to pop this thing out of shape. So, and since it was pretty bent up when I got it, I got it as straight as I could, and I think it actually, my front bumper is actually not perfectly straight either, but I think I got it pretty straight looking at that middle grill line there. So I just threw on a little bit of black paint. I still need to go through, and because this thing originally had bars that went around this way and kind of were like headlight protection for the vehicle it was on, those were all just destroyed and bent up and rusted out, so I cut those off. I have to, clean it up, make it flush. I don't know if I'm gonna weld a piece of plate there or not, or just clean it up, but I gotta do that on both sides. And my fog lights were originally mounted, actually here you can see a little bit of goober from where I actually tack welded the light mount to the frame and had them mounted in here, but now I've moved them up there, and each ground for the light is ran directly to its mount under here, and then they share a power source. So if I grab a key here and get in here, I can flip on the fogs. And I got nice fogs centered forward, up high enough, and that works just fine like that. They're also just barely tucked behind there, if you can see. So if I did run into anything, I'm not too worried about the fogs. They'd more likely bend back. But if I ran into anything like actually straight, like a wall or something, the fogs aren't really in any danger. But if I ran into something crooked like a tree or whatever that was round and had odd things sticking out, I might bend the fog mounts a little, but I'm not too worried about that. I don't do a whole lot of off-roading, mostly ditches and stuff if necessary. But there's that. I like it, I enjoy it. I think it looks a lot better, and it's a little bit more functional and practical for my purposes with this on here. But now I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with my winch, how I'm gonna mount that, what I'm gonna do with that, but that's the next step.